What is going on, YouTube? This is not the type of video you would expect from me. A different setting. Normally we're working on cars, but today we're going to be discussing basically how my insurance company tried to screw me over and what I did to fight back. This frickin' sucks that this even happened, but unfortunately my neighbor's tree, a tree branch fell off their tree and landed on my 1990 Mark II Volkswagen Golf. If you've seen our videos, you know the car. It's really upsetting. The damage isn't too bad. I'm gonna overlay some footage, pictures maybe here so you guys can see what's going on. You guys wouldn't even know about this unless you follow me on Instagram. I haven't even talked about this at all. It's been 4 months since it happened. The insurance company was undervaluing the car the entire way, and I had comparables, very reasonable comparables, showing them this is what the car is really worth, and basically they just told me, no, go screw yourself. We don't want to hear anything from you about what you think the car is worth. We're going to give you. They said the car has 90,000 miles, and they wanted to say that the car was worth $1,500. I'll show everything here. So they wanted to say the car was worth $1,500. I have comparables of cars that might have a little bit less mileage, a year newer, four-door, asking for $8,000. Now, obviously, we all know asking price isn't what it's going to sell for, so when the insurance companies factor that in, they factor a reduction of 10%. So you reduce 10%, adjust for mileage and year. All day long, that car had to have been a $5,500, $6,000 car, depending on the location, who really wants to buy it, and how good of a salesperson you are. So I knew without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that that car was not worth less than $5,500 as a private sale in the condition that it was in. So I knew for sure that my insurance company was trying to screw me over when saying that the car was only worth $1,500. So basically how they came to that number was when insurance companies do this evaluation, they are supposed to look at the market for previous sales, what the car's actually sold for, what's out there. And they didn't do any of that. They claimed that there were no comparables, and that they just called the local used car mom and pop lot on the side of on your local highway, not even a name brand store, not a manufacturer dealership. So this is a Volkswagen. Obviously, you might want to call a Volkswagen dealership who might know a better value or might have a better idea what the value is. There is actually a Volkswagen dealership near me that specializes in collecting and restoring older Volkswagens. They have a collection of them. So they weren't even trying. They were not handling my case in good faith, it seems. So they called these small dealerships and said, "Yeah, we got this car. What would you buy it for? Not what would you sell it for, because that's what the real question is. Not how much could I trade the car in for." So they weren't trying to find out what the actual cash value was. The insurance company called and said, "What is your trade-in value? What would you buy this car for?" Because we all know that when a car dealership buys a car, they are supposed to recondition it and make a profit off of that, because they have lights to keep on and business expenses. So it's reasonable that a dealership would make a profit off a car that they buy. That would be a wholesale, when they buy a car on wholesale. So basically my insurance was asking these random car lots, "What's your wholesale on this? What would you take this in on a trade-in for?" I'm actually a car salesperson, if you couldn't tell. So not only am I a car salesperson, we're also we got a VR6 swapped Beetle that we were working on. Big things going to be happening with that soon, hopefully. With less things to do with the Mark II. Mark II is not destroyed. The roof is dented. The sunroof is messed up. I could seal the sunroof up, but that's a conversation for a different video. We can talk about that. Back to the topic at hand. Filibustering, so on and so forth. I don't even know where we were. They were telling me trade-in value. I was like, no way, you're insane. We went back and forth, back and forth. I'll try and show whatever I got here. Back and forth talking about, well, no, this is how much this car is going for over here. Well, I don't know. This is my favorite one. I said, I don't know where you think I'm gonna go out and buy a like and similar car for a like and similar vehicle in mileage and year and condition for the price that for the amount of money they were evaluating it at. So basically, the moral of the story is, and your insurance company will try and screw you whatever way they freaking can, as long as the law allows them to. And what I had to do was, after going back and forth with my insurance company, trying to negotiate a fair value myself, I had to contact my own independent appraiser. You're depending on the state, I don't know. I'm in New Jersey. Your insurance policy might state that you can have an appraisal clause, is what they call it. So if you can get your own independent appraiser to evaluate the vehicle, and they will negotiate with your insurance company on your behalf. Now, even though I am a car salesperson with access to tools to be able to search the entire country for cars and what's for sale here, I know how to find cars. I found the same exact comparables that the independent appraiser that I hired to go find. That's basically what they're doing. They're going out, they're looking at what's comparable and just presenting that in a nice packaged form to your insurance company. And your insurance company, then they also go out and they get their own independent appraiser. So I'm paying, listen, these appraisers, you're going to pay all different prices depending on your location and who's doing it. I've heard as little as $250 up to $750. But what I can do is send you to where I got my appraisal done. That's mywriteoff.com, and this is not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form, but I truly do believe that the service that they are doing is a reasonable price and an amazing value. Local people were trying to I was getting prices of $750. I was like, this is crazy. It's insane. And now I'm not going to knock what they do, because I'm sure they have expenses and maybe certifications and whatnot. They got they what I'm saying is they deserve a payment for what they do. But realistically, I didn't do anything different. All I did was go on my computer and search. Okay, this is another one. Autotempest.com. If you're watching this and you don't know Autotempest.com, that's crazy. You got to go check them out. And again, not sponsored, but that is how I found the Mark II Volkswagen Golf. That is a whole other story in itself. I don't even know if I told you guys that story, but we can do that too. Again, Autotempest.com. Find your dream car. So that's what I did. I went on Autotempest. I searched for comparables. I found the same comparables that the adjuster, my independent appraisal person found. They actually found one that I didn't find. It was a Craigslist one. I think that's why I didn't find it. And it had a blown transmission. So I'll show these if I didn't already. We got like a 4-door. It's like $8,000, and we got another one. I think it's another 4-door. The blown transmission, and that one's $4,000. So you're not getting one of these cars running and driving for less than $5,500 again, because you got to take that one that has a blown transmission and put a transmission in it. So I'm just gonna say $1,000, $1,500 for that transmission with install. I don't know. So you buy the car for $4,000, and then you buy a transmission for a few $100, and you get it put in. But it's always more than just that. Anyway, long story short, that's the setup. That's what's going on. Tree branch fell on car. Insurance company screwing me over, telling me the car is not worth what I what I feel it should be worth inside. And I know for a fact. I presented my evidence, my comparables. They basically told me, "Nah, you're nobody. You don't know what you're talking about. You should be happy that we're giving you $100 for your piece of garbage." I This was caused a lot of stress for me because we put so much time and effort into looking for car part, not just installing the parts, but looking for parts, thinking about what we're gonna do. And I've been working on this car for 5 years, and they're telling me, I got a piece of garbage. It ain't worth nothing. You stupid. Like, come on, be real. So it was very stressful, heartbreaking that they were trying to do that to me. Um, Puts a lot of stress, puts a lot of strain on, puts a lot of stress on you. So that's why I'm making this video, to let people know what you can do. So what you gotta do is get your own independent appraisal. Again, I recommend mywriteoff.com. They were great, really helped me out. And on to the meat and potatoes of the situation. So they told me they originally evaluated the car at $1,450, something like that. Again, I'll try to put up some kind of representation here of what we got going on. So I was like, this is crazy. That doesn't make any sense. This is what the car is actually selling for. These are this ones here, here, here. And they said, no, no, screw you. I went on for months trying to negotiate with them, and finally I just said, screw it. I gotta do what I gotta do. We'll start looking for an independent appraisal. I was skeptical. I was like, after the brainwashing they exposed, the gaslighting that the insurance company exposes you to, and other people are like, yeah, you're screwed. You're not gonna get anything for the car. Again, that's another that's the reason why you might want to check out Haggerty, or another insurance company that does agreed upon values. So I would actually have had an agreed upon value policy, but there was a time where I daily drove the Mark II for like 6 months. So they don't allow that. You cannot daily drive a car with a agreed upon value policy, as far as I know. It could change. I mean, so everyone, different companies have their own policies, but generally it's going to say something like, yeah, I only drive this car to the shop, car shows. Maybe I drive it once a week to work on a nice day, but you're not gonna be daily driving this car 50 miles every day in the snow. That's not what that's for. So I wasn't driving the car in the snow, but that's just an example. Now, I should have, when I was not daily driving it anymore, switched to the agreed upon value coverage, but I just slipped my mind, didn't get to it. It would be a bump in payment. I just said F it. I wasn't driving the car, so I was like, what the hell is gonna happen? Cars parked in my backyard. I was actually sitting right here at my computer playing video games. I stream Yu-Gi-Oh on Twitch. So if anyone wants to check that out, I'll put the link in the description to that. So I'm sitting here playing my cards, being the king of games, and I hear bang. I look out the window. I'm not gonna go back and find the clip. Maybe I will, but I was streaming and I was like, what the hell was that? I feel like a tree just came down outside, but it was probably a truck passing by. Let me go check, see what happened. And I go right up to that window right there, and I have a meltdown, and I come back and I close stream. So that sucked. Anyways, I get my own independent appraisal. My write-off takes care of me. They give you a free They give you a free estimate, and they said that the car should be $5,000, $5,008. That was their fair market evaluation for the car. They took that. Now, what happens at that point is your insurance company will also hire their own independent appraiser, who these two will come together and negotiate to reach a number. At that point, my appraiser told me that they were going back and forth with the other appraiser. They were looking at 4,350 $4,350 fair market value. You add taxes and fees on top of that, depending on your state, what your state says. My state says fair market value plus taxes. That's the law. That's what the insurance company has to pay out. So I got the evaluation of $4,350 plus taxes minus a $500 deductible. And then what you do from there is we're going to subtract another $250 so that we can keep the salvage. We can keep the vehicle and fix it, repair the damage, possibly part it out, or swap the parts out onto a clean shell. What I think I can do now actually is I was trying to preserve the car in its historical classic, form, whatever. It wasn't the cleanest car in the world, but it was a low mileage Mark II two-door Golf. So I wanted to try and restore it to what it keep it to what it was. But now that it has a clouded history, I could do an engine swap on the car and not actually care about preserving its value as much anymore because, it's a car. I was really upset over it, but then I was just wanted to make a video before. It's not just a car, but its parts will live on, or I'll fix it. Now again, we'll see. You'll see the damage, and it's not that bad. So again, the car's fine. If it was crushed to nothing, then I might be saying something differently. So basically that's it. We got somewhat of a fair value for it. We get to keep the car, and I get a few dollars in my pocket. The money could be used to fix the damage, but that's a whole other video. Basically, my reasoning is at this point, we got the Mark II Golf that's got damage now. We got to fix, and we got the VR6 swapped Beetle it doesn't have many miles on the build. Alright, yes, like I was saying, I had a cut there. At this point, I'm not really looking to put a lot of time and effort and resources into fixing the car because my neighbor's tree didn't actually completely come down. Just a big freaking branch fell off of it, and then I guess the wind carried it to the car. It's a big freaking branch, but the tree looks like it's dying. So I can't even park a car in my driveway. I can't even work on a car in my driveway without the fear of a tree coming down on me because the tree is like diagonal and like hanging over my property line diagonally across it. So it's like taking up, it's hanging over my driveway. Well, it's the tree is not hanging over the driveway, but the way that the tree is like straight up, but it's bent and angled ever so slightly that when it does come down, it's coming down over my driveway. I'll try and show you pictures. Another tangent here, I don't know if you want to hear this. The law says that you can't cut a tree. If there's a tree on your property line, you can't cut a tree so that the tree would die. Basically, there was no freaking leaves left on the tree, and that was the only branch on it. Now the tree is like sending out these little shooters with new leaves, desperately trying to make new branches. The tree is dead and dying. But my neighbor, who subscribes to me and said they like my cars, they said, or they don't care about removing the tree. They don't care about helping me fix the damages at all. But yeah, they should definitely remove that tree so that I could freely use my property. But that's a freaking whole other video. We got a fair value. MyWriteOff.com. Not sponsored. Check them out. They helped me out. If you want to see more, if you want to see stuff about the VR6 Swap Beetle and this Mark II Golf, check out the other videos on the channel. I don't know who's still watching this video, but if you are, it's probably because your car freaking was damaged, and I hope you get the payout that you deserve. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, if it helped you out, hit that like button. Consider subscribing, all that good stuff. And yeah. I like how this guy says, good afternoon, Patrick. I received the value back on your vehicle. It's very far off from where you wanted to be. If you can, send over any and all comparables you have. Well, that's going to be the worst thing this guy could ever have possibly said, because I went on to send any and every single comparable that I could find under the sun. Now, but what I'm saying here is, they're like, yeah, please send any and all comparables you have. Like, they actually give a fuck. This guy should fucking be ashamed that they're trying to take advantage of people in a time of loss. They didn't ask. No one asks to get fucked by their insurance company with no lube. I'm eating some protein granola stuff. Get your protein, guys. So, anyway, he's telling me, "Oh yeah, we care about you," and they're like, "Fuck you." So here I'm going to be showing a picture that shows where they got their valuation from. They're supposed to show on this page comparable vehicles that have sold or ones that are actually for sale, but instead it just shows this is what a dealership would offer to buy the car for. And this number is completely freaking ridiculous. Here's this guy talking about trying to see what more of his options are to work for us to try and get a better value. Complete BS, because his evaluation doesn't go up at all. He's just stalling, filibustering, and basically not doing anything. And this is, I guess, what you want to say, one of the final emails where he tells me that they tried to get a better evaluation, but no, there's nothing they could do. They're stuck on $1,450 or something like that, but that I can go out of my own pocket to pay for a better appraisal.